Hi, and welcome to the Westie Parent Podcast. I'm Miruna. I've got my Westie dog, Sami, here with me, as usual. He's my sidekick on every one of these episodes and on all of the videos we make. He is the star, after all. Whenever I ask people what we should talk about on this podcast, many of you mention Westie quirks, behavior, and, personality things. So I thought today we're going to do just that. We're going to be talking about weird things my Westie Sami does, and maybe other Westies do them too. I don't know. I'm going to look forward to hearing from you in the comments. But yeah, he's definitely unique. He's got his quirks. Right now he's pawing at me because he wants treats, and I've always got treats with me, so he knows. Okay, so we're going to start with one of the, let's say, unusual ones, which is I taught him not to bark in the house. So he barks in his sleep every night. I mean, it's got to go out somewhere, right? It's just all the pent up energy has to go somewhere. But it's true. He doesn't bark in the house. We train him from even since he was a puppy not to bark indoors in general, not just at home, but if we're anywhere inside, he's learned not to bark. So that is something that I love about him. But, he's a Westie after all. So every time he goes out on the balcony or he steps outside, if there's a reason to bark, he's going to bark. But in the house, he doesn't. He's really good that way. And he does bark in his sleep. That is the only time that he will bark in the house. It's really sweet. It's one of the funny things that he's done ever since he was a puppy. I think maybe not every night, but it's almost every night, and during daytime naps as well. So I'm really curious to hear if your dogs bark in their sleep as well. It's just the cutest thing. And he's got this high pitched voice too. Because when he barks, when he's awake, he has this really low kind of growl voice. But when he barks in his sleep, it's just like this cute little and he barks with his mouth closed. Oh my God, it's just the cutest little thing. So yeah, and then when he goes out on the balcony, he growls like a car that won't start. Like that's what it reminds me of. So he just goes and like because he knows he's not allowed to bark, because if he barks on the balcony, usually I will let him know, like give him a notice. And then if he keeps barking, then I'm going to say, come inside. And he's not allowed to go for 5-10 minutes. So he knows that. And that is one of the ways in which I train him not to bark. So if he's going to bark, there will be a consequence to that, which is usually just come inside, stay there. And when I say you can go back, then you can go back. And he's really good with that. He really listens. So yeah, it's just most Westies, I think, they bark because as a breed, they were pretty much designed to bark if there's danger or if there's anything they want to let their humans know about. But it can be trained, because a lot of people have asked me this, like, can you train a Westie not to bark? Yeah, you can, but it's not easy. And you need to really be committed. You need to be consistent and make sure there's, rules in place, and make sure there's a reward as well. He was heavily rewarded as a puppy whenever something happened and he didn't bark. So yeah, but more about that maybe in a different episode. Another weird thing that my Westie does is that he is afraid of his harness. But he has no problem fighting a dog 10 times bigger than him. So let's be clear on that. But whenever he sees his harness, he just walks backwards and he goes to hide somewhere because he really doesn't like it. And I don't know if it's because it's uncomfortable or it's because it goes over his head. I don't know. I tried doing it with treats, like giving him a treat every time that I put his harness on for a while. I did that. It doesn't seem to make him less afraid. He's a brave doggy, but when he sees his harness coming, he runs away. Another weird thing about Sami is that he doesn't like playing with balls. I mean, isn't that weird? I thought all dogs loved to play with balls. Not this one. Um, Not even the stuffed, squeaky ones. That because he usually loves squeaky toys, the plushy ones. But when it comes, if it's a ball, like for some reason, he just doesn't care. You will throw a ball at him and he just doesn't care. But the other day, the funniest thing happened. I had this beauty blender that, those kinds of spongy things in the shape of a ball. So it's a round beauty blender. And for some reason, I threw it at him as a joke and he loved it. He chased after the thing. He took it in his mouth, started walking all around the house with it. And that lasted for about 2 days. But it was really funny because it was the only ball that he liked, my beauty blender. Sometimes I feel like he has a radar for all the things that are human and that are not meant to be dog toys. And he prefers to play with those instead of his own toys. Yeah. Another funny thing that I just remembered now when I was talking about the balls is that whenever I throw a toy at him, he doesn't really catch it, but also he doesn't move out of the way. So it'll just come towards him. Like I let him know, hey, I'm throwing this, catch it. And he just looks at the thing coming right at his face. And then he just closes his eyes and does this kind of sound like as it comes and hits his face. It's the sweetest thing. I don't know why he's like that. He's weird. It's really funny because I feel like other dogs might move or might try to catch it or do something, and he just sits there and like waits for it to come and lets it just hit him in the face. And it's usually, like stuffed toys. It's nothing that could hurt him. But it's really funny that he does that. And then another thing is that he gets bored. He gets bored of toys after a maximum 2 days. So if he loves to get a new toy. Every time he gets a new toy, he is over the moon. He will, walk around with it and he will play with it for 1 or 2 days. And then I don't know what happens. He just gets bored of it. And then he won't even look at the toy anymore. No matter how fun I try to make it, doesn't matter. Been there, done that. What's next? So that, oh my God, he's pawing at my shoulder right now. For those of you just listening to this. But yeah, that just, means that Sami has I think it's 2 boxes full of toys that I just bought throughout the years that he won't play with, He just won't play with them. And even if there's a toy he hasn't seen in a year or 2 years, and I take it out and I'm like, yay, look at this, it's new. He's like, nope, I remember that one. I remember the little lamb. I used to play with it 2 years ago. Not interested. I don't know if it's a Westie thing or what. Please let me know. Like, is there anything I can do to make old toys interesting to him? Because I really don't know. Even like, it's not even the scent, because I washed them many times and, make them look as new. Like, they smell as good as new, but nope. He's not interested. He's a very spoiled dog. And you would think that would make me buy him less toys. It doesn't. I still buy him a new toy every now and then because he just gets so excited. It's going to be worth it. Another weird thing that Sami does is that whenever it's time for him to take a pill, he just does this thing where he walks backwards and smacks his tongue. Like, he does this. It's just I don't know if it's a universal thing. Again, I have no idea. He's my first dog, so I don't know. But yeah, he has this funny little quirk whenever it's time for the pill. And for those of you asking, why don't I just put it into a ball of food or something, like make it into a ball of meat or something yummy? He finds it. He finds the pill. He will chew on the food and then somehow magically finds the pill and spits it out. And trust me, I've tried with cheese, I've tried with meat. Like, I don't even know what I haven't tried. Mashed sweet potato, like something that mixes really well with the pill. Nope, can't. He can't be fooled. He's too smart for that. So yeah, he's. I say that he's like the princess and the pea, because he feels the pill wherever it is, and he'll just find it and spit it out. So now, what I do now, because I used to in the past, I used to put it in the back of his throat, like open his mouth, put the pill in, and then close his mouth and wait for him to swallow. So that was something that I did for a while. And now what I do is, because he has so many pills that he takes on a daily basis, with supplements and everything, I just crush them and put them in his food and mix it really well. So then he can't spit it out. But he definitely knows whenever the pill comes, if I say the word and I show it to him. Sometimes I do it just for fun, I admit it. And just to see the look on his face when he just smacks his tongue and goes backwards. It's just the funniest thing. Talking about food, he doesn't like things that need too much chewing. Like, for example, sometimes I will give him a cherry tomato. He loves tomatoes. Dogs can eat tomato in a small quantity. And I try not to give him the seeds, because I don't know, they might be bad for him. But a few times I did give him a cherry tomato and he just didn't know what to do with it. He would just roll it on the floor, take it into his mouth, spit it out. Like, what do I do with this? And I had to literally like teach him that he can chew on it. I just kind of said the word for like chewing and take it, like, and I showed it. I did this thing with my teeth so that so that he would get the point that he has to chew on it. And he does this with, like, he did it with a quail egg that I once gave it to him raw, just intact, not broken, to see what he would do. And he did the same thing. He was completely confused, had no idea what to do with it. Like, what do I even do with it? He does it with very hard chew snacks. Like, for example, at some point I had deer skin that I got from the pet shop, and I would give it to him. It's this piece like as big as my palm probably, that he would have to chew on, and it's really, really hard. So he just didn't know what to do with it. He took it from me, put it down on the floor, looked up at me like, what now? Because it doesn't seem like it's food. And again, I kind of had to, like, yeah, I'm not going to explain what I did to explain to him how to chew it. I may or may not have showed it to him, but anyway. So then, if I do that, if I show it to him and I'm with him, like, come on, try this, he will eventually, very timidly, start to chew on it and be like, oh, huh, that's how this works. So then he just chews on it for half an hour. But yeah, he's really quirky. I feel like a lot of dogs would do this instinctively, but he doesn't. Okay, another thing is that he is really bad at catching flies, but he loves trying. Like, if he sees a fly, and I admit that I taught him this. I taught him, like, the fly, look at the fly, where's the fly? Uh, so he took it as a game. So now every time he sees a fly, he will jump, parkour around the room, jump on the sofa, jump down, clunk his teeth, like, snap his teeth in the air, trying to catch the fly. And he gets really into it, like he growls at it, he mumbles. But he never manages to catch a fly. He's never, ever caught a fly in his life. But love the determination. It doesn't stop him from trying. Sami also loves to chase pigeons outside on the street, and he does that just for fun. He doesn't really try to catch them. He will just chase them, and he loves to run right into a group of them and watch them fly away. And that's another time that he mumbles. He loves to mumble while he does that. And you can tell that it's just fun for him. And pigeons are not the only thing that he loves to chase. He also likes to chase after the laser light, much like a cat. So I don't even know how I discovered this. I think I had a pen at some point that had a laser light, and I just discovered that he loves it. So he'll just run after the laser and bark. And that is the only time that I will allow him to bark in the house, because he gets so excited chasing after that thing. And most of the time I do it on the bed, because the bed is just, if you've watched our videos, we have like a huge bed. It's basically two beds stuck together. And it's the only place in the house that he can run freely and not slip on the floors, on the hardwood wood floors or tile. So I'll just take the laser light and, get him up on the bed, and he can just chase it from one end to the bed to the other. And he just barks and loves it, completely loves it. I want to say here, I feel like I should say this. I read a lot of things about playing with dogs with the laser light. And a lot of people say that it can kind of affect their mental health. So some dogs get so obsessed with the light that they will start chasing it even when it's not there. So they will just see the laser light even when it's not there, like in the shadows, in the lights. Their mind just looks after that laser light. So they become obsessed, and then it's a bad thing for a lot of dogs. So I would like to say, if you're going to try this, Sami hasn't ever experienced symptoms like that. Like, I've never noticed him chasing after an imaginary light. But if I ever did notice that, I would stop. So I feel like take this with a grain of salt. If you are going to try this, which is not something I recommend, but if you're going to try it, please be mindful of your dog's reactions. And if you see them get too obsessed with it, then just please stop. Sami, for example, whenever we play with the laser, he stops on his own whenever he's bored with it. So it's maybe 3-4 minutes that he runs left and right. And then at some point, he's just like, I'm good. I'm done. You can stop now. And he just disengages and climbs down the stairs of the bed, and that's it. So yeah. Another thing that is really funny that he does, and again, if you watch our videos, I'm sure you've heard him do that. He mumbles whenever he wants something. So he's a very opinionated Westie, and he just has this mumble that is not a bark or a growl. It's just fully formed, I want to say sentences, but it's obviously not. But it's like he's trying to talk, He's just trying to talk, basically. He doesn't know the words, but it doesn't stop him from trying. He started doing this when he was a puppy. Nobody taught him this. I never taught him. I don't even think I knew how to. But yeah, he started doing it. Like, for example, if we were eating something and he wanted it, he would just first sit and stare. And if nobody, paid any attention, then he would start mumbling, I think he did it on one of the previous episodes that I did. I'm pretty sure he did it once at least. Um, so yeah, he's a mumbler. So he just, yeah, learned how to do it on his own. Whenever we were late with his meals, or whenever his walk time, it was like 5 minutes past his walk time, he would start to mumble like, "Hey, humans, what's up?" And then I thought it would be funny to kind of turn this into a command. Like, I taught him how to do it on command. So I just picked a word. I would say the word whenever he did it and reward him. And he quickly learned that, okay, when she says that word, I'm supposed to mumble. So now he'll do it on command. And it's the cutest thing. Yeah. I'm really curious to know if it's a Westie thing, because I don't think I've heard any other dogs do this. So please let me know in the comments if your Westie also likes to talk to you. Another thing about Sami is that he is fearless. He can take on big dogs, moving cars. Nothing intimidates him, Fireworks, he won't even flinch when they come off. Like, every New Year's Eve, we go out on the balcony to watch the fireworks, and he just sits there like nothing, Nothing scares him except one thing. He has one big fear in his life, and that is having his nails trimmed. That is no joke. He has an absolute phobia when it comes to nail trimming. Like, he will hyperventilate, he pants, his heart is racing, he starts trembling. He's just really, really afraid of it, It takes two people to hold him to get the job done. And for this reason, a few years ago, I stopped forcing him to do that. I stopped cutting his nails like that, because the stress on his body was just too big, and I didn't want to do that to him. I don't think it's worth it. So I started, instead of clipping his nails, I started using a nail trimmer. I think it's called an electric file, that basically files down the nail. So you charge it and you just take each nail, and it's much like a manicure salon with the electric drill file. I don't know what it's called. Sorry. Uh, but yeah, that's what I do. I use one of those things to avoid him being, having this phobia come out again. And whenever I take him to a new groomer, I tell them, please don't try to clip his nails. Like, I know they're long. I'm going to do it at home, because he's really, really afraid of that. And, please take into account that this is a dog who has his teeth regularly cleaned at the vet, like every few months, maybe twice a year. When we go to the vet, she will clean his teeth with the metallic kind of tool. I don't know what it's called. Um, without any anesthesia or anything. He just sits there, and the vet cleans his teeth with that thing, and he's fine with it. He has no problem with it. He can take shots. He's had a paw injury at one point from a grass seed that went in there. And it needed actually cutting the skin a little bit to get it out. Those things are really bad. So I don't know if you know this, but grass seeds are really dangerous for dogs. And yeah, he just sat there while the vet cut into his skin to get this grass seed out. And he went through that fully awake. But the nail clipper, God forbid someone shows him a nail clipper. It's just weird to me how brave he is in so many situations. But when it comes to this one random thing, he cannot even look at it. He can't. And in general, anything to do with his paws, he's really suspicious and sensitive about it. Probably also because as a puppy, he's had a lot of allergies. So I used to do a lot of things on his paws. Like, he had these, itchy paws. And so I would have to wash them often with a special shampoo. I would have to put all kinds of sprays and creams on his paws. And yeah, I guess he kind of has this sensitivity when it comes to his paws. And the last quirky thing that I felt like talking about is that my dog is a very honest dog. Like, he can't lie. And I know it's a weird thing to say about a dog, but a lot of dogs will hide things from their humans, right? Like, they will try to get away with stuff, stuff that they chewed on or things that they shouldn't do, but they want to do. So they're hiding. Sami is a completely open book. Like, I left food on the table and I left the camera filming and I went out of the room for a full 2 minutes. And I told him not to eat the food, basically, not to touch it. And I went out, and when I came back, the food was untouched. And I watched the video, and he would just stare at it and sniff around it, look at the door, and wait. He didn't try to take a bite. He didn't try to sneak anything. So I think that's a really cute thing about him, that if I tell him something, then he listens to me and respects whatever I told him. And it's really, really sweet. And it started when he was a puppy, and he would do this thing that was one of the funniest things that he did. He was 4 months old, 5, something like that. And we would go on a walk, and he was at that age, right, where they're going to pick up any nasty thing off the floor. So he would find like dried poop, and take it into his mouth, and he would stop walking and look up to me with his big eyes. And I could see his mouth was slightly open. I couldn't see what he had in his mouth, but he would just basically stop to let me know and maybe ask for permission. I don't know. So he just stopped and looked up at me, and I was like, what's going on? I could see he had something in his mouth. I would open his mouth, the poop would come out. I would be like, Sami. But he wanted to eat it probably, but he didn't want to sneak, he didn't want to hide it from me. So he would just look up and ask for my permission, let me know that, look, I did this, Ma. Can I? And yeah, he did that for a while. And every time I would say no, open his mouth, throw out the poop. And he just never once thought, okay, let's just hide that. Let's just lie a little bit. Let's act like nothing happened, chew on it, swallow, and be on our way. Because I never would have known, because I didn't look at him all the time. So he definitely could have gotten away with it, but he's too honest for that. I have a really honest dog. And yeah, that is my list of quirky, weird things that my dog does. I hope that you enjoyed listening to all of them. Let me know in the comments, which one did you like the most? Which one made you laugh? And if there's anything that your dog does that is weird, please let me know. Share it with us in the comments. I'm sure that everybody listening would love to read about your dog, because I feel like each dog has their own quirks. So yeah, I would love to just see them all in one place. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find the Westie Parent Podcast on every podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can watch the video on our YouTube channel, Westie Vibes. Please subscribe so that you won't miss our next episode. Me and Sami make this podcast weekly. A new episode drops every Tuesday. Tune in next Tuesday to see what we're going to talk about next. Thanks so much for watching.